Good morning, YouTubes. I have been, if you've been following me for a while, you've been seeing me work on personal transformation in more ways than one. But I decided to make a short little video because I've been bodybuilding, but sort of bodybuilding, right? Not to like bulk up, just to be strong and capable and to maintain physique or whatever. But I do a little bit of like sculpting, postural sculpting, just because massage therapist, so I can see postural alignments, which means like when the alignment is off a little bit, like if your hips are supposed to be level, maybe it's this way, maybe it's this way, maybe it's this way. But I started at my feet. I've been working on my legs for the past year. I'm doing core exercises and back exercises. But posturally, when you work on the spine, you want to work on the spine as a whole because it's a machine that has a lot of stacked little discs that all have to coordinate movement together. Like if this one's restricted in some way or stuck, it's going to make everything above it have restricted movement. So you can't just work on one spot, and over time you compensate. So you kind of lock this spot in, like say there's a little rotation in one of your vertebrae or something like that. And then your spine, when you're walking, goes up and down, up and down, up and down. Well, you're gonna try to keep your eyes level and your head on top. So everything's gonna try to compensate, and then eventually it kind of locks itself in. Maybe you get like an S curve, like a slight S curve or something, and your back gets stiff. Then you don't have as much flexion, extension. I could go on about this forever. The spine is something that I'm passionate about. However, I don't have a perfect spine. I've been in a car accident. I've had head injuries. I was in gymnastics, blah, blah, blah. But I want to be able to do a standing back handspring. That's one of my goals. So I've been working to strengthen the foundation, and I've made it to my spine. And I built a really strong lower back, and I can tell and I know I have like a little curve in my thoracic, and then it corrects right around here, but my neck has like old whiplash injuries and stuff. So one postural thing that a lot of people have, humans in general, most people have head forward posture. So that's where you're standing and your head isn't right over the top of your spine. Maybe it's like jutting forward a little bit, so it's like this. I don't know if I necessarily have it that bad because my ear, you can, hang on, let's shake it out, stand comfortable, and then look at where my ear is above my shoulder. Yeah, okay, so it's all right. It's not too bad. If it's straight above the shoulder and the hip, and those are all stacked, then you're okay. But you can check that simply by, standing in front of the mirror, take a picture, and then look. But the second thing, so obviously I feel pretty good about that alignment, so I'm not going to worry too much about where my head is at. That means that my ESGs and my suboccipitals and the back of my neck are strong, but I have been exercising. So I've been doing IYTs for that. And you can Google what that is. You can talk to your doctor, but I'm not going to straight up educate you on that. Moving on, another thing that people can get is upper cross syndrome. So that's where you have kind of like the head forward posture shortens your SCMs and your anterior scalenes, which are like deep to the SCMs. They're like these muscles that contract and pull your head forward. So those guys get short. But then what happens is you get this compensation in your shoulders, where it's like, I think it's your pecs get short as well, and it like locks you in, and you end up getting this kind of diagonal tensional pattern, and it's hard to get out of because you have to counteract that movement in two different ways. You have to hit the neck and the shoulders together in tandem at the same time, because if you don't, one's going to lock the other one in. So you can Google more information about that and the specific muscles involved in that. And what happens is like the back muscles get long, and so you get these knots in like the upper shoulders and traps. I totally have that right up here. So this is long here for me, so I need to shorten it, and I'm going to be doing flies. I'm going to be exercising my back up here and mobilizing my thoracic. So as I'm progressing, I'll check in, I'll show you guys my posture and my movement, and maybe you can follow along and end up, let's fix this. Yeah? Do you have it too? Do you have this tensional pattern as well? Let's fix it.